Okay, I would just sit there and call. When I first read these things, I start just reflexively cursing these guys for being tyrants, and I try to refrain from that on the second reading, but it's tough because these guys just look like that's what they're up to, is just arbitrary tyranny.
Absolutely.
And this next item is kind of like that. This is the Senate passing an anti-smoking law yesterday, and then I think today the House also passed the same version. Overwhelmingly, that all but bans cigarettes. It creates a new FDA commission that is called the Center for Tobacco Products, which would so over-regulate the production, the labeling, advertising of cigarettes that it's a clear step towards prohibition. It's very much intending to drive the prices way up and reduce the nicotine, and of course most of the proponents, and there's many because it passed in the Senate 79-17, played the children card. And that paragon of virtue, Senator Teddy Kennedy, Mr. No, keep sucking, Mary Jo, or I can keep my eyes on the road. I can't let him forget Chappaquiddick, of course. But
no, you can't.
Yeah, especially when he's moralizing. So Teddy says, public health experts overwhelmingly agree that enactment of this legislation is the most important action Congress can take to reduce youth smoking. Okay, and then a bunch of other ones were playing the children card. But is Teddy really thinking of the children? He also said, miracles can happen. The United States Senate has finally said no to big tobacco. So for Teddy, it's about bringing down an industry, showing who really runs America, the government, to be able to get the companies to do what they want. They have to do these kind of takedowns from time to time, and Obama said he's going to sign this thing, so out it comes. They've been trying to pass this for a long time. But it's funny, he's a closet smoker, the hypocritical idiot. He says that he's going to sign it. Meanwhile, he goes off and has a smoke, and I don't know. I think the whole thing is about power, not about actually stopping people from smoking, because they're just going to make them in their basement. What do you think, Greg?
I don't see this as being the next step towards prohibition, really. I know they're trying to ban additives like chocolate, grape, orange, and cherry, because those are intended to attract underage smokers. I know the products can no longer carry claims such as light, mild, and low tar. That's just a labeling issue.
Is it fraudulent, though? I mean, I don't know. See, that's one I didn't understand, because is it trying to say that it's good for you? Is that what the implication when they say low tar? It's like healthier or something?
Yeah, and the argument is that most people who smoke, they smoke the mild or low tar, they just inhale more deeply to get their dosage of nicotine. Well, I don't see it as being a fraudulent act on part of the government. I see it as being certainly an example of nanny laws, and where the government basically tries to micromanage the populace.
Yeah.
And that I frown upon as a libertarian.
Yeah, I kind of sympathize with the part that says, if they're making it candy flavored, and if in fact kids are the biggest consumers of that type of a cigarette, then I'm more sympathetic to that. I like to protect kids, even though I'm a libertarian. If you hand a kid this cigarette and it says, "Oh, it tastes really good," it's like having a candy bar and a smoke at the same time, and you get a nicotine high. It's great. If that recruits more kid smokers, then I'd be tending to want to ban just aspects that seem to be directly recruiting kids.
Right, and that's what this particular action is aimed at.
Yeah.
However, having the FDA get involved that's a whole new area. The FDA is a juggernaut.
Right. Now, they have been proving themselves very incompetent on many levels, and I wouldn't have any confidence that this little commission would be any better. See, that's what makes me think that it's a step toward prohibition, because it's just the way they meddle. In any kind of industry, if you arbitrarily insert constraints, it's as if you're trying to sabotage it and eventually make them give up and make it too expensive to do business. So that, and then the taxes on top of that. I know they heavily tax cigarettes, and what we've seen with that is that if you have a state that taxes the cigarettes really high, then you get cigarette runners running across state borders, and it's part of organized crime's one little side incomes. So again, prohibition doesn't work, and this seems to be a step toward that, just because of putting the FDA in charge. It's like the rest of the things that they're doing. They're putting idiots in charge of all these different aspects of business, and they're making decisions that are ultimately going to make investors pull away and make it very difficult to do business. So I don't know.
Absolutely.
I know that that's their. So then maybe there's mixed purposes there, or mixed incentives for the government. They want, a lot of them want to ban it straight out. In fact, the Republicans are sometimes worse than the Democrats on this. There's many. I read a couple articles where a couple of the sponsors of this bill were Republicans that just wanted they just wanted a flat-out ban, and they'll just take this as a partial measure toward it, just making it more difficult to get cigarettes out. And I grew up with smokers. My parents were smokers. Secondhand smoke was all around. Part of the arguments for this thing is that secondhand smoke kills, and I heard some of the senators talking about that. I think that's a junk science myth. That those, if you look at those studies, and I read the book Junk Science by Stephen Malloy, and he has a chapter on secondhand smoke, and basically debunks the linkage they make as just a correlation and not a causation of people that got cancer that happen to be around secondhand smoke. They never have proven that the secondhand smoke caused it. So that's just another one of the misinformations that the anti-smoking campaigns use. What do you think? What's your personal kind of experience with smoking, and smokers around you that kind of colors your opinion?
It doesn't bother me when people smoke. My roommate smokes.
Yeah.
So, if you open a window, so what?
Yeah, you can always work it out. I mean, if they're eating, it's kind of annoying, and if the smell is around, if it's all around you in the room. I'm not a smoker either, but I don't want it all around me. I don't really want it in my clothes, but I take that as a given. If I go to my mom's house, some of the stuff's going to smell like smoke when I come back. It doesn't bother me. It washes out. I'm used to the smell. And in Las Vegas, it's still. My girlfriend just got back. They still have smoking in the casinos, and some are worse than others about ventilation. But I guess there's 45 million smokers in the U.S. and if you try to ban it, people are just it's gonna start another underground industry that a lot of people like to smoke.
Yeah, well, kids are going to get a hold of cigarettes if they want them, the same way they get a hold of liquor.
Yeah, so our libertarian principles tell us don't prohibit it. You're just going to cause much more harm than help.